The Voyager spacecrafts might be the most loved space probes ever sent out by human beings. Nothing man-made has traveled further from Earth, and they may well be in existence well after we are. But why do we love Voyager so much? To start, right now Voyager 1 is over 15 billion miles away. That's like going to the moon and back more than 31,000 times. Its twin space probe, Voyager 2, isn't that far behind at almost 13 billion miles. Part of why they're so far away is because these were launched all the way back in 1977. They've both been flying for over 47 years, and at this point they're going more than 30,000 miles an hour. Their main mission objectives were completed in 1989, after flying by and studying planets and moons including Saturn, Jupiter, Titan, Uranus, and Neptune, and getting some awesome imagery. After that, NASA decided to continue their mission into interstellar space and see just how far they could reach. We're not even at the cool parts yet. Both Voyager 1 and 2 included a ton of different scientific instruments to measure the space environment. But the most relatable and the most famous payload is the Golden Record. This is a replica of it, and Carl Sagan described it as a message in a bottle. It's basically a letter to life somewhere else in the universe. This phonograph attempts to document and capture the spirit of the human race. That includes music, sounds from nature, and photographs of the human experience. It's even got a sort of map of our solar system, as well as drawings of the human anatomy and our scientific understanding. It's a record of what the human race is, and maybe one day was, floating through interstellar space. There's one more big reason why the two Voyagers are beloved. They just won't quit.
Never say that! Goonies never say die!
These two spacecraft were not designed for 50-year missions. Still, they're well approaching that, just not without issues. In a recent event, Voyager 1 started sending nonsense data back to Earth for 5 months, causing people to worry that this might be over. Engineers first tried the best troubleshooting action anyone can ever do. Turn it off and turn it back on again. More specifically, they sent commands to restart the system and to run different sequences to see if anything stood out. Now remember that this thing is billions of miles away. So it takes around 22.5 hours for commands to get to it, and the same amount of time to get a response. What the team learned was that there was a memory chip that stopped working right. Since there are no mechanics in interstellar space, the team was able to take the code that was stored in that chip and save it elsewhere. And in order to do this, they had to divide the code into smaller pieces and store it in different areas of the spacecraft. Again, they sent another signal to make these updates and got the spacecraft talking in a way that made sense on April 20th. And just a few days ago, it experienced another issue that caused it to swap to a backup transmitter which hadn't been used in over 2 decades. This thing just keeps on going.
They keep going and going and going.
Another issue with Voyager 2 happened in 2023 when its antenna became off-pointed. Since the antenna was off-pointed, NASA had to amplify a signal to then send to the spacecraft and tell it to point its antenna back at Earth. And today, these two spacecraft are still trucking along, sending messages back to our home planet from afar. Part of why the Voyagers have been able to go for so long is that they run on nuclear batteries that utilize plutonium. But even those aren't going to last forever. So to preserve the spacecrafts for as long as humanly possible, the team is consistently evaluating where power can be saved. Over time, they've begun turning off different equipment to preserve their batteries, with a recent one being a plasma sensor on Voyager 2. So why do we love Voyager? Just imagine building a spacecraft in 2024 that people will still be talking to in the 2070s. While the Voyager's batteries will one day die and they're going to stop talking to us, they're going to keep trekking further and further into deep space. In over 38,200 years, Voyager 1 will come within 1.7 light years of a star that's part of the Little Dipper. On both Voyagers are small time capsules of Earth, the life it sustained, and a map to get there. And maybe, one day, it'll be someone else's scientific discovery.
Oh, Mataleta,